He told me not to speak. So naturally, the first thing I did was scream. The bunker door slammed behind us, and the sound swallowed every hope I had left. One flickering concrete walls that smelled like rust and old rain, and him standing 6 feet away, watching me with those cold, unreadable eyes, like I was a problem he hadn't decided how to solve yet. "You'll wear yourself out," he said quietly. "Good," I snapped. "Maybe I'll wear you out too." Something moved across his jaw, not quite a smile, not quite anger, something worse, something that looked almost like respect. The first night, we didn't sleep. We sat on opposite sides of the room, backs against the walls, pretending we weren't watching each other breathe. I told myself I hated him. I replayed every reason. The way he'd taken me, the calm in his voice when he'd done it. Like stealing people was just something he did between breakfast and lunch. But then the temperature dropped, and he stood up without a word, crossed the room, and sat beside me. He didn't explain. He didn't apologize. He just pulled off his jacket and dropped it into my lap, like it meant nothing. It meant something. "Why did you take me?" I whispered. My voice came out smaller than I wanted. He was quiet for a long time, long enough that I thought he wouldn't answer. Then, "Because you were the only one who knew the truth, and I couldn't let them silence you before I did." I turned to look at him, really look. The sharp lines of his face, the exhaustion underneath the armor, the way his hands I had been so afraid of, rested open on his knees like he was tired of holding everything together. "You could have just asked me," I said. "You wouldn't have believed me." "I don't believe you." "I know." He looked at me then, direct, steady, like he'd already accepted every version of how this could end. "But you're still listening." My heart did something I refused to name. The second night, the generator died. We sat in total darkness, close enough that I could feel the warmth radiating off his shoulder. He told me things. Quiet, dangerous things that I had no business knowing about him. And somewhere, between the cold and the dark and the weight of his voice in my ear, the wall I'd built began to crack. He felt it. I know he did, because when his hand found mine in the dark, he didn't reach. He waited, and I was the one who closed the distance.